Welcome back to Living with a Classic. I'm here in the workshop with my Daimler XJ40. As you know, it's for sale right now because I bought a dream car, which I will hopefully reveal pretty soon when it arrives. It's about 6 hours or so away, so it's going to come here with a transporter, but I'll let you guys know as soon as it arrives. But this thing is actually on the market right now, so if you're interested in an XJ40, let me know. It's a good one. There are some issues with it, but definitely a very nice, good XJ40. But I decided to fix a few things in today's video. One of them is there's a slight clunk from the front end, and it's probably the shock bushings, the top bushings. I've replaced them on one side already, but I'll show you guys the other side. So here's an old one, here's a new one. Quite a big difference. And while we're at it, I'm going to change the oil as well. It's about a year ago, so since I have it in the air, might as well sell it with some fresh oil in it as well. So let's get started. I'm going to start off by draining the oil while I do the other things, so that can just drain for a while. So you got to open these really slowly because it's such a massive drain hole on the XJ40 or the AJ6 engines. It's a massive bolt. So we'll let that drain, and while that drains, we'll replace the other shock absorber bushing. Replacing those bushings on the XJ40 is pretty simple. This side is easier than that side. I'll show you why in a little bit. But just if you're wondering if the wood has nothing to do with the gas struts being in a bad condition, they're brand new. But the car is on an incline, and then I can't open this fully because it's going to hit that light fixture there. So that's why we got the wood there. But if you have a look down here, you see right there, that is the top of the shock absorber. So you got one of the little bushings over there, and the other one is down here. So pretty straightforward. You just loosen that 17mm up there, and then I'm going to show you a trick that I like to do, which is to compress to the shock and hold it compressed with some zip ties. Replace that, put it all together, and that way you don't have to disassemble the bottom of the shock. It's just a lot faster and quicker. Got a long 17mm socket. You can fit that easily on this side. On the other side, it's a little more tricky. One thing I have done is I've measured the distance from the top of the nut to the end of the threads, just so I can easily know how compressed it was and how much I should tighten it again. And that was 3.5 centimeters or 35mm. So yeah, that is an easy way of knowing how far you need to put everything back. From that, I'm just going to wind this out. On the other side, like I said, I will show you, but you need to remove the air filter housing, and you need to remove the mass flow airflow meter, because it's basically underneath the coolant reservoir, and I found that is easier to remove than the coolant reservoir. So you got that nut there. You got a big washer. Put this to the side, and then you should have the top of the bushing here. Here we go. There's that cup, and there's the top bushing. The top one is always in pretty good shape. It's the bottom one that takes a beating. So let's have a look at getting that one out. So my trick for compressing the shock is really straightforward. I've showed it before when I replaced the shocks on my XJ12 a couple of years ago. But I get a floor jack underneath there, and I will jack this up to put pressure back on this and compress it down. Then I will lock it in place just with some zip ties. You don't need something strong. Hold that in place, and you might need to do it once or twice and tighten everything down, and then you can easily get that bush out. And then once you're done, put the new bush in, cut the zip tie, and it will slowly rise back up. Start with one zip tie up here, so get the old bush to move up if you can. Just a little bit at least. There we go. It was just a little stuck. And I like to just make a loop around the top. And then basically a loop from the bottom to the top that you can easily tighten as you see fit. So we're going to go through the bottom here, and I will bring you guys in for a closer look once it's all together. Okay, we're almost there. I think this is gonna work. And tighten that down and tighten top one. Now I got the jack underneath and just a regular floor jack. And I'm gonna start just jacking this back up. And you see now these are starting to get loose. So as to get loose, I like to tighten that top one and then just start tightening these down. Pretty straightforward. And now we're pretty much at the max on the bump stops. And usually, when you let it down, you will have enough space to get that out. Otherwise, you may need to do it once more. Alright, we are almost there. I should have gone a little bit further, so I will go up one more time. There we go. Now there is pretty much enough space, but just to show you guys, if there wasn't enough space, you can move this just a little bit over so it touches on the side here on the shock tower, and that will give you room to tighten everything a little bit more in case you want to. And there we go. Not the official way of doing it, but definitely a time saver, especially if those bolts down there are difficult to get off. So I'm going to put the new ones back in now. And as you can see, quite a difference between the old and the new one. These can sometimes be completely disintegrated, especially on the XJs and the XJSs. And you get terrible clunking from the front. There we go. With that in place, now we just want everything to go back up. These shocks don't shoot up, straight away, but of course don't put your fingers above there. I like to cut this one and get that one out of the way. So we'll cut that, and you see it will slowly rise up into place. And then you can get all of this stuff out of the way and start up top. But as you see, we're not really all the way up there yet. So once again, I think using a floor jack, it's not a bad idea to put a little bit of pressure on the suspension just to get it to go up. That way you can also have a look here and guide everything into place. You see that's into place now. I don't really have any pressure on anything at all, but now you will have enough threads up top in order to get the nut on. Alright, so up top here, hopefully you guys can see a lot better now than before, but there is top of the shock, and here is all the old stuff. So let's remove the old one. Once again, you can tell the difference. Then we'll put this washer down there, and that should line up with the hole. Then that big bush, the big washer, and the nut. And as you see, there isn't a lot of thread, so if you hadn't pushed up the top of the shock with the floor jack, this would be very, very difficult. Now I'm going to tighten this down, and I said I measured the distance from here to up top, and that was 3.5 centimeters, so there's quite a bit that I can tighten this down. But I'm going to start just a couple of turns, and then I'm gonna make sure that the shock is centered in the hole. Okay, so I'm just gonna go underneath and shake it a little bit, make sure everything's in the right place. Looks good down there, and looks good up here. So I'm gonna continue tightening that down. Now I think I'm going to start measuring. Quite simple, just have a ruler here, and I measure from there to there, and that's 2 centimeters now, and that was 3.5 before. So I got 1.5 centimeters left to go. And that's 3.4, so we'll just give it a little bit more, and then everything is back to the way it was before. Perfect. The oil is pretty much finished draining. It's just dripping a little bit down there. I'll put the plug in, then I'll get the filter that's up there somewhere, and then we're ready to fill up with oil and drop it back onto the ground. Filter is changed now too, but before I fill up with oil, I just want to show you what you need to remove to do the top shock mount on this side, as it is right down there. So all I removed, let's see my camera focus, all I removed was this, the bottom of the air filter housing, the top goes over here with the filter, the airflow meter, and that's it. And then I got enough space to go down there with a normal open-ended 17 millimeter wrench. Took quite a lot of turns, but got it off, and I can show you, you see from here that everything is new on this side as well. Okay, time to fill it up. Using the same type of oil I used last time. Really happy with it. It's worked well. And during the 1 year I've had the car, I've had to top up the oil once, about half a liter or so, so I wouldn't call that bad at all. So today's flavor is Castrol GTX Ultra Clean 10W40, and it's worked very well in the AJ6 for me before, so we will reuse it. The oil capacity for AJ6 engine is I think 8 or 8.5 liters. I can't remember exactly. So I've poured in a little less than 8, and the car is still, you know, up in the air. But I just want to start it up and have everything circulate, and just check for leaks before I put it down on the ground. Alright. And oil pressure warning light went off. Oil pressure is coming up on the gauge. Everything seems to be running fine. We'll shut it down and then go underneath and have a look at leaks. Alright, the Daimler is back on the ground. I checked the oil level really quick and it seems pretty good, like in the middle. So let it sit overnight and then we can tell the true level, and then I'll fill it up to the max and it's good to go. Should be ready for a new owner if someone wants to buy it. We'll see what happens. I have it out for I think a very fair price, and it's only about a couple hundred, like $500 or $600 more than another one that's out there that has a lot more issues. It's not even MOT, so I think it's a fair price. So if it doesn't sell at that price, I think it will stick around for a bit. I do have the space so I can put it away, and I want to ask you guys, would you like to see the XJ40 a bit more on the channel if it would be possible? I'm not really sure if it will be, but if it's possible, would you like to see it, you know? Because then I would fix a lot of issues on it and then maybe sell it on when it's better, or, you know, we'll see what happens. I do want to then do the headliner. I do want to fix the speeds for the climate control fans. They don't work at all the speeds. I want to sort that out, and well, I do actually want to sort out some of the body work as well on it, and then I think we will have a very nice XJ40 it already is a very nice one, but those small things I think would make it pretty much perfect. So let me know, would you want to watch those videos? The XJ40 videos haven't been the most popular ones so far, but if you guys do want to watch them, maybe the car will stick around a little bit longer on the channel. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and share it with your XJ40 friends. Make sure that they watch it and hit subscribe. Give a thumbs up, so maybe we'll keep this car on the channel. So until next time, I'm Adam, and this was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.